Yep. Route here in Toronto is actually the second oldest streetcar route in all of North America. Number 1 is New Orleans. Number 2 is Toronto. And we actually see the decisive sounds and smells of industrialization. Oh man, that's a good sound. I'll let you guys listen to that from the St. James Cathedral. And it is, of course, an Anglican cathedral. That is where the Queen likes to come worship when she is here in Toronto. Coming up now on stop number 21 for King & Yonge and the King Edward Hotel. Anybody looking to get off at King & Yonge and the King Edward Hotel? Raise your hand. Nope. Looks like there's some crazy lineup going on outside. I have no idea what this is. Oh no. They're all girls too. One Direction. Probably, it might be One Direction. That's One Direction. Yeah, if anybody was wondering. There's a yellow races going on. That's the Heritage Act in action. That's preserving the facade of that building because the developers cannot demolish it. It's protected by the Heritage Act, which protects buildings around that are over 100. This is the financial heart of the city of Toronto. This is where most people in the city have their offices and work for the weekdays. This is also the location of all the big 5 Canadian banks. This is where all those banks have their headquarters. On the left-hand side, the Canadian Imperial Bank of Nova Scotia, or Scotiabank, the Royal Bank of Canada, TD Bank, Toronto Dominion, and the Bank of Montreal. So, the black towers up there, those belong to the Toronto Dominion Bank. Very ominous black towers indeed. But right next to those tall black towers, Canadian even taller. It's named that because it belongs to the Bank of Montreal, and the Bank of Montreal was the first bank in Canada. So first Canadian place, that tall white tower is in fact the tallest office tower in the entire country. 72 stories. At any given day during the week, about 10,000 people will be working there in First Canadian. See all the offices all the way up to the very top. It's also the location of the Toronto Stock Exchange. The Toronto Stock Exchange, currently the 7th largest in the entire world. But you can see the old facade of the Stock Exchange on the left. It's preserved there. Moving away from something tall towards something a little bit smaller. On the right-hand side, we have this fairly boring-looking gray and black stone building. That is Trump Tower here in Toronto. Donald Trump wanted to build the tallest office tower in Canada, or the tallest hotel in Canada. The tallest building, period. But during the 2008 financial crisis, a lot of his investors simply backed out. So, he wasn't able to build it as tall as he wanted. And here in the city of Toronto, all we do now is simply refer to Trump Tower as the Trump stub to let E.J. Lennox put his name on the building, which was a huge insult to an architect at that time. So what E.J. Lennox did was that a company was established by royal decree. Actually, first I'm going to point out that you can see very interesting examples of the hybrid architecture, where the old facades of the buildings, like that atmosphere and the Bank of Montreal, are kind of preserved, and then they're carried on in the new facade of the building. So the old building and then the office tower coming out of it. Lots of interesting architecture. But like I said, we did just pass by the Hudson's Bay Company, the second oldest corporation in all of North America, incorporated in 1670 by royal decree. The only thing right about now, that's Church Street, where you can see the streetcar that's turning, the big bendy streetcar. Church Street was actually the first ever street to be electrified for streetcar use. Oh, that was close. I thought somebody had done something very illegal. It looks like that's news for Catholics here in the city. Not so exciting, however, was the fact that when this church was first established early in the 1800s, 1845, I believe, it was so far outside the city limits that people attending the church wrote an angry letter to the Pope, complaining about how they had to fight off bears and cut through forests in order to worship. Now, however, Massey Hall with two rules, and one was that there would be no alcohol allowed on the premises for 100 years. He was a very devout Methodist. It's a fun experience if you go down there to the urban eatery. And the Eden Center itself is actually a very fun experience as well. The way the stores are laid out very logically. The stores in the bottom are cheaper, and as you go higher up in the mall, the prices of the goods in the stores will increase. That's just how it works. And everything is fairly nice in the area. It didn't always used to be this way, however. On Yonge Street, around the area of Yonge and Dundas, the Toronto Police, by the year 1998, actually made about 1,000 arrests. A lot of crime. So they had to clean everything up. They pulled down a bunch of city blocks. They created Yonge and Dundas Square, and everything has been getting back on track. It's become a cultural hub for the city. And Yonge and Dundas Square is, of course, stop number 1. It's going to be our final stop for this leg of the tour, and it's where my part of the tour does come to an end. So, if you're staying on, you'll be with Ariel, I guess. Ariel? Oh man, forgot how to pronounce it. It's going to be bad. You're going to be with her, and she's going to be carrying on. But all will be well. The tour will go on. We're going to be here, taking a rest for about 10 minutes. Make sure you can explore. Oh, it looks like you can play some hockey even. That'd be fun. So.
Testing. Alright everyone, welcome to City Sightseeing Toronto. My name is Ariel. I will be with you for the next 2 hours if you're coming back to Yonge and Dundas. Right now, crouching on the floor, probably making a hat out of one of the maps, which is his specialty, is Levi. This does not mean you can stand up. Alright, so everyone just stay seated at all times and we'll have an awesome trip. So is anyone hopping off for stop number 4? Nobody up here. Restaurants, hair salons, nail salons, adult lounges, super random. As long as you can afford the rent on Yonge Street, you can open up whatever you want. Stop. Believe it or not, this is where the hippies used to hang out back in the 60s, in the late 60s, early 70s. The rent in this area went way, way up because this is right in the middle of those 2 intersecting subway lines, so this land was highly sought after. The hippies could not afford it and they had to relocate. Now you can find them in Kensington Market, back behind us, and a bunch of condos. So the Four Seasons is a Canadian chain. It was started by a man named Isidore Sharp. He is actually one of the first people, or the first person, to leave you the little chocolates on your pillows and the free samples of shampoo and conditioner and soap. He could take you in for your soap and shampoo and conditioner collection. So stop number 10 is going to be Verano a little bit later. We're going to double back around this area, so we'll talk about it then. And it also helps keep the anticipation high. So if you look to the left, you'll see this blue stadium. This is the Varsity Blues Stadium, home of the University of Toronto sports teams. Now, the University of Toronto, they're not well known for their sports, I guess you could say. Their football team, the Varsity Blues, went 49 games without winning. That's about 7 years. And then when they finally did win, the streak erupted into ridiculous party. Everyone thought that they had won the championships, but it was just a regular old game. They were playing against the Waterloo Warriors. Half their team was missing because of a steroid scandal, and they only won by 1 point. Nonetheless, it's still counted as a win. The University of Toronto does not excel in sports, but he had a huge business going on, and it was getting him a lot of money. So Capiloma was actually a gift to his wife, Lady Mary, a birthday gift, and they were looking for somewhere to build their home when they came across a piece of land in the lowest bridge on the tour. Please stay seated at all times and keep your arms down, and we're good to go. Chose everything and pushed it into one. The Capiloma is a very popular place to get married. The wait, however, to book a date is 3 years. So what I suggest is booking a date and then finding somebody to marry. It just makes logical sense. Oh my God. Aquí han hecho el programa de, ¿cómo se llama el programa? Wonderful.
To avoid bankruptcy, Sir Henry moved out of the castle, and then the city of Toronto took ownership of it. They were going to demolish it, turn it into a school, museum, and decided to just make it a tourist attraction. How awesome is that? I would definitely love to go to Capiloma. Wouldn't you? Abdulrahman? That's it, right? Awesome, thank you. Alright, so in about 5 seconds, just on your left side, you'll see a separate sign behind a Victorian house, in front of a Victorian house, right here. Funny story about that. Legend has it that every single girl gets stopped off at 85 Spadina. Big note, Spadina. Anyone getting off at stop number 8? Okay, going up top. That shows plays like Cats, The Book of Mormon, and coming this summer, Anything Goes. If you want to go see it, now's your chance. Oh my goodness. Now once again, for those of you joining us and departing from us, if you wish, if you're having a good day, or if you're having a bad day.
Does anyone know what the capital of Ontario is?
Ottawa.
Just shout it out. Capital of Ontario. Any guesses? Yeah, Toronto. That was a trick question. Thank you for participating. I'm assuming you're from Boston. Because of your hat, am I right? No? Oh. Oh, you're so not at all close. Anyways, so the province of Ontario, the capital of it is Toronto, so the legislative buildings, the provincial legislative buildings are going to be here for the province, and then, yes, correct, and then for the rest of surgery, the heart of the baby was about the same size as your thumbnail. How many people just visit your thumbnail? Also at the hospital, they have something called animal therapy where they prescribe puppies. Because, you know, who doesn't want to play with a puppy if you're feeling down? They've also at the hospital got an agreement with Disney, which says that some Disney movies, not all of them, are going to be premiered at the hospital before anywhere else in the world to lift the sick children's spirits. The next stop will be for Kensington Market. Is anyone hopping off there today? Sorry, not Kensington Market. Kensington Market is included, but it's also for the AGO and Chinatown. I just love Kensington Market so much. Anyone hopping off here? Natural.
Yep.
Look at this. The Art Gallery of Ontario has many Canadian art in there, a lot of landscapes. Before we get a better look at that, one of my favorite contradictions in the entire city is coming up. On the left we have the St. Patrick's Cathedral, and then on the right we've got Sin and Redemption Pub. Art Gallery of Ontario on the right. Also beside the Art Gallery, we've got the Ontario College of Art and Design University, which is a black and white checkered thing with the pencils holding it up. This is where I attend school. It originally started as the Ontario College of Art, and then they added design, and now it's a degree-granting university with all kinds of disciplines in art and design. If you look to the right, you'll see the Sharp Center for Design overhanging the original structure. That's what the black and white checkered thing is called. Fun fact, you don't need those pencil-like objects to support the structure. It can be held up by itself because of physics. I know it's sometimes to know how it works. So we're approaching Queen Street, which used to be called Lot Street, because the city was divided up into some land called a lot. And if you try to stop at stop number 12 for the Scotiabank Theater, is anyone hopping off there? We do have a request for stop number 12. And here you go for stop number 12. There's space up here if anyone wants to hop on up. So we are about to enter the entertainment district here in Toronto. On any given night, Toronto's entertainment district has a capacity of 56,000 people, whereas New York's entertainment district can only hold 10,000. So 56,000 people in Toronto, that's a little bit more than 1/50th of the population in Toronto itself. Which is crazy to imagine all of them being right here at the same time. That's pretty rowdy here at night because you're going to find tons of restaurants, bars, clubs, lounges, theaters, tons of different things going on here. It's Thursday night, so it's probably going to be busy tonight. You can stay at a restaurant on that side of the street. There's like 20 restaurants in a row or something. Is anyone hopping off for stop 13? Okay, we have a not yet, I'll let you know when it's in. If you look to the right, you'll see the distro like that. This is pretty good. This is the largest international film festival just after Cannes in France. You guys can hop off now. Nobody up here.
We have to pass it,
You'll see this golden statue. That's called the audience. It was designed by Michael Snow. He was also a graduate of the Ontario College of Art and Design. And this audience is supposed to represent different personalities. So, supposed to represent different personalities you meet at a sporting event. They're not supposed to represent anyone in specific. The little boy on his father's shoulders on the top right, that is supposed to be Wayne Gretzky. If you've never heard the name Wayne Gretzky, he's argued to be the greatest hockey player of all time. And you can see the roof of the Rogers Center is currently open, which is super cool. I'd love to see it open. That's also in front of us. Wow. Do you have another question?
No.
Is that the CBC building? It's built on rubber, and those red crosses in the windows are also made of rubber to block out as much noise as possible. Stop 15 will be next. Is anyone hopping off stop 15? We do have some people for stop 15. Coming up for